I think this has dried enough. I'm going to use a little bit of full strength white, just side loaded on the tip of that brush. And I make little C-stroke effects to kind of bounce in the clouds as if it was a bright sunny day and the sky was full of little billowy clouds. So that will work for clouds in the sky. And then I'm going to take just you know what, I probably need to use the little better 1/4 inch brush. This one I've been using just for my floated work. So I'll use it, and I have just a tiny little bit of black paint loaded just on the toe of that brush. And I'm going to shade in the sections of the barn so that it creates some separation, and you begin to see its shape form. Cool. Okay, now I need to take some black. I think my poor black spot of paint dried up on me. I had to stop and have lunch, so. And I'm going to add that black shadow right up under the eave on that side of the barn, because you don't see the underside on this one, but you do on that one, and that way it kind of pushes it back. And then I want to do a little shadow across the bottom so that we can kind of set the barn down on the ground. And then it kind of finishes off the bottom, depending on what else I'm going to do to it. Let's see, there it is. I'm going to use a little number 2 flat and just some black to lay in the little doorway. And then I'll use just a little bit and put the kind of the indication of like a little barn window type thing. And if my chair squeaks, I can't help it. Every time I move, it makes a noise on me. Okay, still debating on this little foliagey area here. I'm going to go back and add the yellow color just to strengthen that. And since this is going to be kind of a little treetop area, I'm going to do the same with it. I don't really put a whole lot of tree limbs and all that kind of stuff in when I'm doing just the background. Just a little something to give the idea of what it is. Okay, this right here, it was I'm not sure what kind of, I think it must have been a 1/4 inch wide flat, but anyway, after it got all scruffy like this brush, but before it got hard here, I kind of trimmed it off at an angle almost to make myself a a Deerfoot stippler, but one that would give me more of a loose kind of almost lacy feel. So I'm going to use it and put in some little, like, it looks like little grasses growing there. And then take a little bit of yellow and go over the top of that. And then that kind of creates the illusion of something different growing there. And I also did the same thing. This was a little, like, I guess an 1/8 of an inch wide flat, and it started getting all frayed on the ends on me. So I cut it with a little bit of an angle, and what I like to do with it is I actually load some red and some white on the brush at the same time, and I can come in and I can add a little row of whatever you'd want to call them, roses or just little flowers, and then the little bit of white, if it gets lost, you can go back and add just a little bit more. But the white on top of the red creates a little dimension in the flower. And then to kind of set them down a little better, I'll go back and I'll take a little bit of green on the tip of that old angle brush and just kind of scrub that little bit of green in there so that it creates a little bit of a base to set them on. And then that looks like some kind of row of something growing back there. And I think the little path almost doesn't need anything, but I'm going to add a little bit of shading to the brown just to deepen it. Just a little bit. I like that. Okay, I'm going to let some of this dry and then come back and work on it some more.